In paper P4, a very important part of finance is capital rationing, which is how to maximize shareholder wealth when there is limited capital. So now we will see how do we maximize shareholder wealth with limited capital. To achieve this objective, first we must identify whether the limited capital is a hard rationing or soft rationing. This is important especially in times of financial crisis. When there's a financial crisis, limited supply of capital is available to companies, so they must make full use of the capital available and generate the highest return to the shareholder. So to achieve this, we have two kinds of rationing. One is hard rationing, the other one is soft rationing. Soft rationing means the company has capital, but management does not approve projects. Why management do not approve projects? It is because they want to focus on their core business and they don't want to take all the projects with positive NPV, so they put aside capital only for the core business and refuse to approve all the positive NPV projects. This is what is known as soft rationing. Hard rationing, on the other hand, is the real problem part of finance, because in hard rationing there is always limited capital available externally. When you say externally is limited capital, it is due to factors beyond management control. What are these factors beyond management control? In a financial crisis, banks get very tight on credit, markets become very depressed, governments operate tight monetary policy. All this will result in hard rationing and company unable to raise finance. Therefore, a company have to maximize shareholder wealth within the amount of capital available. To ensure that this is done, the company has to check whether the rationing is for one period or two period. So we classify rationing under single period or multi-period. In single period rationing, it is important that you find out whether it's divisible projects or indivisible project. What do we mean by divisible project? A project that can be started partially now and continued later is a divisible project. An indivisible project is any project that you have to start immediately fully. That's what you mean by indivisible. The criteria to make a decision is, for divisible projects, we use Profitability Index or PI. And PI simply measures the NPV per dollar invested, which is NPV divided by initial investment. And when you divide this, you will get the NPV per dollar invested. Choose the project with the highest NPV to make the maximum wealth for shareholder. However, if a project is indivisible, then you got many projects available and they're all indivisible. You go by trial and error selection. Trial and error selection simply means you select the projects that gives you the best NPV and fit it into the capital available. In other words, we maximize NPV with capital available. That is known as single period for divisible and indivisible. On the other hand, if your capital rationing is multi-period, multi-period refers to a situation whereby capital is limited for more than one period. Limited capital for more than one period, it is important that the company identify again whether the rationing or whether the project is divisible or indivisible. And in multi-period rationing, there is no way to solve the problem other than by linear programming. So, for multi-period divisible project, you have to devise a linear programming model. This model will be input into computer spreadsheets and the solution will be obtained. For examination purposes, all divisible multi-period rationing, you are only required to set the linear programming model. You don't need to solve any model. And also for indivisible projects, we use something called integer programming. And integer programming is a very unique way of finding out the solution at the end of the day.